Hey everyone, I'm Larry Walsh. This is Channelnomics and the Margins, and we're coming to you from the GTDC North America Summit here in Oceanside, California. And I'm joined by my colleague, Amy Henderson, and our good friend, Lori Cornmesser.
Hi. Hi.
Amy, lots of good stuff going on here.
Yeah.
It is literally the who's who of the channel and distribution. And we did our annual finance workshop yesterday. The main event is going on today. What's your takeaways?
A great first day of the conference. Starting off with the finance forum, there were finance leaders from all of the major two-tier distributors. There were vendors there. There were partners there. And I really felt like it was a really interactive conversation. A lot of people had really great thoughts. They were involved. And I think that the top of everyone's mind was, can I say this in the right way? The distribution tax, right? I think that there is a preconceived notion where it costs money to work with two-tier, with distribution, and there's not enough value put in it. And I thought that the forum was a really great opportunity to have that open dialogue.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear is that there's no dispute that distribution is a value add to the channel, to the go-to-market, but there's always this layer of doubt, Lori,
Yep.
of that someone in the organization
Yep.
looks at it and says, well, why are we paying this?
Yep.
Why is this additional cost? And what is distribution doing for that?
Yeah. Listen, one of the biggest ways I sort of stayed ahead of that was getting my finance leaders, getting my CFO, getting the finance organizations to understand the math.
Yeah.
Because it's the math that then says, how am I driving efficiency? How am I trading off costs? How am I creating benefits back to the organization in a language that they understand? So what an important session that you did, Larry, yesterday.
Yeah, we heard that from the distribution CFOs that were attending. So we had the CFOs from Exclusive Networks, Ingram Micro,
Yep.
TD Synnex, and Arrow there, and they were echoing this. They were talking about, we have costs too. This does not happen for free within their organizations, that the benefits that are delivered to the vendors do have expenses attached to it. And the net result for them really is razor thin margins. We put a slide up that said the average distributor is operating a 1 to 3% net.
Yep.
And the CFOs looked and they said, really 3%? They're like, that much? And yet there's still this persistent, like, what are we supposed to do with all this?
Yeah, I think it's a very valuable conversation. I think people left taking away some concrete things that they can take back to their QBRs, take back to their board meetings,
Right.
to create some efficiency. So that's one of the things I'll tell you, Larry, is I think that the conversations have gotten stronger. Each year has gotten better here. I think the data has gotten better, the dialogue that we're having. So yeah, just the weather wasn't as great this time for sure, but the dialogue, data, and just the presenters have all been really great.
With the weather, of course, though, it is sunny California. It just happens to be coming down on the ground in a wet form.
Yeah. Good way to look at that. That's Larry Walsh, always looking at it.
Absolutely.
But Amy, I think that the one of the things I took away from this morning is Frank Vitigliano, the CEO of GTDC and literally a legend in the channel.
Yeah.
He came out on stage in his address and talked about this, is that even though that there are companies out there are leaders out there that they question about what's distribution doing, he's like, look, it's still growing. And so far this year, distribution's up 10%.
Yeah. And that message really resonated, I think, with me and with a lot of folks in the room. And I think it's a message that folks need to hear is distribution is vital. It is growing. And to Lori, to your point, you need to get your teams on board with understanding the relationship, how you're going to best utilize it, and how it benefits really all parties involved.
Yeah. Agreed.
So look, that's about all the time we have for this edition of In the Margins. If you like what we're doing here, hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends. Also check out our other podcast, Changing Channels, as well as The Network Effect, which is hosted by Amy Henderson. Also check out all the great research, content, and services we have at Channelnomics. And also remember our good friend, Lori Cornmesser, who is a great friend of the channel and
Thank you.
Channelnomics.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Larry Walsh.